Hello, Guillem and Adriaan. Welcome to the interview for Community Matters, our regular publication that highlights our wonderful community volunteers who help build the Holo and Holochain ecosystem around the world. You two have been building community in Barcelona in Spain, and I want to share about what you do and share about you and learn about why you're doing what you do and what it is that you're doing. So would you be willing to share a little bit about who you are, introduce yourselves, and share about your background?
Sure. Yeah, I'm Adriaan from Holland. I'm a web application developer and now living in Barcelona. And I was looking into Holochain. I've got saw Holochain and wanted to learn more, and I looked for a meetup in Barcelona and there wasn't any, so I decided to start by myself and also to learn and to meet like-minded people. And now we did like a couple of meetups for a bit less than a year, and we're slowly growing. So we started small in like cafes, and now we're like having like different spaces and bit more people and people that come often. And Guillem was the first, was there from day one, and he kind of came to all the meetups, and now he's like a co-organizer.
So yeah, I'm Guillem Cordova. I'm from here, not specifically Barcelona, but small town, like an hour, a train hour from here. So I'm a web developer as well. So I graduated from college like 3 years ago, and become interested in social collaboration and then decentralized technologies. And then I saw the Holochain project, and I was like really interested in it, really excited. When I saw that there was a meetup, like it was okay. I'm gonna go. And a couple months ago, Adriaan asked me for help, and well, here I am. I suppose I'm a bit more focused on the technical side of things, so really interested in the technology, and hope to build a great community.
Wonderful, thank you. So then my next question is, there's a lot of different technologies out there in the crypto tech field and in the decentralized field. Why Holochain? Like, why are you're both spending a bunch of time and a bunch of energy. You've really put in real work. Why do you care about Holochain that much for that?
Yeah, for me, I was looking into the space for a bit, and I was looking for a platform where I could also start developing apps on, and I looked on Ethereum and smart contracts and blockchain, and it was a bit intimidating also, and it felt a bit like kind of a step back. And why would you put everything on blockchain, and why do you need a token? And it was more like intimidating, as in, you should build like kind of a big project on it, right? From day one, something like really serious. And I like to dabble around a bit with code and like start small and then kind of build up. And I saw Holochain, and I saw the agent-centric part, of course, and data ownership, which really interested me. And then you start kind of digging into Holochain, and then you go down a rabbit hole, right? You learn about all these new concepts, or I never heard about, like things like collective intelligence and data as a commons, and I'm really interested in those kind of patterns that Holochain enable, and and I don't see this happen on blockchain. I think Holochain is much more agile in a way for a developer. So
I agree, and I got interested at the beginning by the biomimicry, like imitating the patterns present in nature, because it was like, okay, if this works like this, the the way nature does things, maybe these guys are onto something. And also it interested me and above, like, compared to other projects in the same space because of its flexibility. So I have a sense that you can build a lot more flexible things on Holochain that maybe on blockchain or on other platforms. So we hope it will be really easy to like start playing games and modify those games with other people, and so forth. So yeah, that's it for me.
Fabulous. Awesome. So then with that, like, what was the step that led you to getting involved? Like, Adriaan, you said that there wasn't a community locally, so you started one. What's your motivation for actually getting people together around it?
Yeah, personally, it was like the first thing is just for learning and meeting people for me. And now I notice it's you get more into it, like kind of like more involved, and you meet really nice people. And yeah, for me, it's now like more a thing of like facilitating and creating space and having a space where people can come together and learn from each other and collaborate and start projects and share information. Yeah, I think that's more the goal. In the beginning, I didn't have a plan or a goal or anything. It was like kind of let's see where this goes. And now it's slowly growing into something like this. And I think I'm also starting to have more of an idea which direction it has to go. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Adriaan is the one who started the meetup. So for me, it was like, okay, I want to see if there are some people with same interests as me, who we can connect. And actually, well, from the first meetup, we came known with Pepo, and now I'm working full time with Pepo, who is a Holochain community member, like here in Barcelona. So it was like, okay, first contacts with people I'm now currently working full time with. So it was like an important part of networking, getting to know people. Yeah.
Oh, that's really good to hear. So it actually, you already like got meaningful connections out of it. And what I'm hearing you say is that you just knew that if people came together around it, that then something would happen that was useful and valuable, and that's been happening, and that there's been community building and real things coming out of it, which is great. So then another question I have is, what has it been like for you to be growing the community? Like, what's your process been like? How's it been working with us on the team? And feel free to give critical feedback. We really appreciate that. Like, what's worked, what hasn't worked, and then what have been some of the challenges in building the community locally?
Yeah, I think it grows slowly and like kind of organically, which I like. I didn't have a plan, but things start happening. You know, it's not like that. I'm kind of having this kind of really strict day of weekly or monthly milestones I need to. But yeah, we have some plans, and like for example, a dev camp we want to do this summer or the end of the summer, and I've been communicating with you, Eric, about this, and so you offer a lot of great support. Thanks for that also, and also the materials, and yeah, it's like really well done. Like the Mattermost chat, there's always somebody who has questions, who answers questions, and also connections, meeting new people, or like getting in the loop of something. It's I feel really supported by Holochain, and also like people from the community. Like I had a coffee with somebody from from Czech Republic, and just discussed, like he was doing a talk for people, and yeah, it's really nice. Like everybody's really friendly and kind of on the same page, I think, which feels good.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, just feels like we are a little bit learning from our own mistakes, in the sense that maybe in the first meetups we didn't know really what to do, do we give content, do we ask people why they are interested in Holochain, what do we do in the meetups in the community. But I think now we are like in the right way, in a sense. So we have looked back and saw what worked, what didn't work, and have some ideas to go along.
Yeah. It's interesting. And yeah, I mean, some things, like sometimes it's a bit difficult to find a good space, so we hope to have that sorted. And kind of the topics what you discussed. So we kind of experiment a bit with with the formats we have, and a lot of the things is just like a bunch of developers come together and we have like some topics we discuss in kind of an open discussion, which everybody kind of enjoys, I think. Yeah. So yeah, and we had like recently we had like this with this chess clock, the last meetup. So we gave everybody 1 minute. So we had this round where every 1 minute talk freely, which was also like a new thing for us, and it works really well. So it's kind of like learning well and finding things that work for you. So yeah.
Fabulous. And then, so from your perspective, because you're in a unique position, you're in touch with you're in much closer connection to the team than most people that are just part of our ecosystem or community globally, and you're really connected to people locally who have questions. What do you think is really important for the success of Holochain and Holo right now, from your perspective?
That's a good question. I think you have the developers and the users, of course. That's really important. So for Holo, you need users, and the developers need Holochain and Holo to reach the users. So that's really important. But also what I recently read about from Arthur Brock, he wrote about the labs and the testnet. I think that's also really important. I think to the labs to kind of have an overview of what is going on in the ecosystem, so you can start building upon each other's work. That would be super helpful, and also like sharing resources and kind of connecting developers with projects and some funding things that could happen. So I was really looking forward for that also. I think it's a really smart move to grow the whole ecosystem.
Yeah, I think I agree completely. And I think one of the big moments that we would have is when people can finally put a Holochain application in production. It's not we have to change the world, because it won't be actually in a production server. So it's not like shipping things in production. But when I think that when users see, or developers see, that users are using apps that function in a different way, that's what will attract a lot more people to the space and to the technology also.
I think also when Holo is kind of in beta or live, that will attract a lot of people. Like if Holo is possible in Holochain, then you have kind of like the holy grail for what's possible on it. So I think that will help with a lot of developer confidence and inspire people to look at what kind of patterns are used, and I think that would be super important.
Great. Yeah, thank you. So then another question is, are there any highlights or goals or accomplishments that you want to share from your experience in building community? I mean, one of the obvious ones that I could speak to right now is just that you're both here together. is representative of exactly the kind of community growth we want, which is that there's a kind of shared leadership in our communities, that it's not just one person in charge of every single one, but that the community actually grows itself. And so just the fact that you're both holding it in partnership is a great example of that I would want to highlight. But I want to hand it to you and see like what else feels great about the work that you've done and that's like on the horizon.
Yeah. Thanks to I haven't looked at it that way, but it makes sense because Guillem is more like already coding on Halogen and like more backend, and I'm more product guy, front end UX guy. So in that way, it's a good match. And we have a Ethereum a dev community. We're gonna have a workshop. So today we were kind of looking at which topics we're gonna discuss, and it's gonna be like a hands-on workshop. So we have to test out some things and make kind of a program, and then so that's gonna happen soon. And we're gonna do a dev camp. What else? Yeah, and I'm looking also into like having our own space that's going to be like more long term. But I was talking with Guillem about it, like it would be super nice. I was a bit inspired by Thomas Miller, I think, from the Brisbane community. Really nice, like space with a nice graffiti on the holo graffiti, and I was like, wow, this would be amazing, right? If you have like your own space with where you can have like people working actually all on Halogen projects and kind of have like an ongoing thing like on a daily basis, like sharing knowledge and work on different projects, but also work together and have like weekly meetups and stuff like that. So that's like a long-term goal or dream, and yeah.
And looking back a little bit, I think one of the most important things in our community has been making connections. And maybe not that much going full into the technological or maybe I don't know into the technical side of things. That was also important, but I think above all, making connections with people that care about the same things. I think that was really important looking back. And I think, well, we have some connections now with the community, has some connections already formed, but maybe next steps would be like to strengthen those connections and to attract more people to them.
Yeah. It should grow. The community should grow. I think, like, definitely.
Great. And then, so lastly, is there anything that you would want to share? So in my mind, I imagine, I hope that someone's watching this. I hope that whoever's listening, that you're watching this and you're listening, and that you're wondering how you could get involved, or if you wanted to start a meetup. Is there something that you would want to share to someone who is listening that you wish you heard when you started before your meetup? Like, what would you love to tell to yourself in the past when you were at the beginning of this journey?
What should I tell myself? Yeah, I would encourage them, like look for a local meetup and don't be afraid to start one yourself, because it's you will meet a lot of like-minded people or really nice people, and everybody is like kind of on the same playing field and coming from different angles. So there's no like kind of authority or hierarchies. It's just, it could start really simple and then go from there. It's really a nice experience for me, and I think everybody. So look for meetups and connect with people and talk about Halogen and.
And well, if we could say something, maybe that even in your local community, like maybe there are some communities are bigger, some are smaller, but in a more global sense, there is a lot of community already there. So don't be afraid to make connections with other people from other places, ask them, and then all these learnings can go back to the local community as well. So don't be afraid of that.
Perfect. Thank you both. This is just absolutely wonderful. And thank you. You can wave to everyone at home. You can't see me, but if you both wave, then it's like then we're waving goodbye, and then I'll hit the stop recording button.
Thank you, Eric, for having us.